believe we're live. We
I,
are.
yeah, I've refreshed it and it's always slow on my. We're live, everybody. Okay, I love being live. The energy just like it increased already. I love it. Okay, so we are live with Debbie Prediger and Karen Hall, and with Ginny in spirit because she's just not here with us live right this second, but she will be with us in the replay for sure. And go ahead and share this out. Go ahead and share this with anybody, and anybody watching this with us live or even via replay. Make sure you let us know you're doing that. We want to know who's here with us so that we can keep the conversation going with you, even one-on-one outside of the chat, if it is so called to do so. So beautiful, beautiful. I just want to say thank you to both of you ladies and Jenny for allowing me to hop on here with you guys and talk about the beautiful thing that is happening between these three beautiful, incredible women. I wish we had another screen where we could just have Jenny's still frame of her face.
Isn't that the case? We should have had her sign in so that we could have at least had
Put
her
picture, like, or if I just had like a card, like just hold a picture up of Jenny. That'd be perfect. So let's imagine she's here with us. But what I am really excited about is the three of you are collaborating. Is it March 19th? Is it that?
It
Okay.
is.
On March 19th for a masterclass that I already know will be nothing but pure fire, because you each bring your own beautiful energy, your own beautiful life experiences, and your own, I want to say lived experiences in your personal field of genius. And I'll use some of Jenny's words there to this collaboration. And so we already know, I had the beautiful pleasure of interviewing Debbie yesterday, and I'm still ruminating in all of these lessons that I was reminded of. Receiving today is like receive, Ashley. But the power of collaboration. And so I can only imagine that this was born, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, that this was born out of a shared mission to support leaders.
Yes.
You nailed it. Absolutely.
Is this for women only?
Well, we've had that discussion, and I'll go ahead and just talk about that.
Beautiful.
We each support men and women. Of course, Jenny does with branding. Of course, Karen has male speakers on her stages, and I empower women, but I also really acknowledge the men that also empower women. So there is a collaboration. The event on March 19th that we're doing, the blueprint, absolutely men and women are welcome. However, awesome. Are we speaking to the women? Probably more so, yes.
Since we use our own language, right, and our own way of communicating, but that will attract the men that want to hear it, right? And a lot of times I think there's a powerful message there for the men who can get inside the room with the women, especially if they're working on building leadership skills. You're not only hiring men, most likely. So beautiful. I just wanted to get that clear for myself before we dive into more questions, so I knew what phrase I was using even. So this is for entrepreneurs, leaders, and visionaries who are feeling stuck, right? And building some momentum, juggling maybe multiple roles, maybe even struggling with the visibility. I would imagine where you guys have your strengths with some PR magic going on here, and confidence in their own message. Am I nailing this, or is this?
Yes, you are nailing it. I thought it was really great what you said about male leaders, because yes, we have male leaders that are working with female leaders that are like, I need some help in this area with my team, and learning the skills that we share at this event will definitely help. And it's also for authors, speakers, coaches. So yes, there's a number of people that this would serve, but it's anybody that wants to get their message out there, that wants to increase their skills in confidence, in speaking, in branding, and to be empowered to share their message.
Of course, that word has to be in there with you three, empowered. That's a no-brainer. So if you don't know anything about Karen Hall and Debbie and Jenny, you'll learn a lot here in the next however many minutes we are live. Because what I wanted to say is, you guys have a blueprint, and you each have, I just know this intuitively. I know you each have a process that you have used at least once, twice, maybe 100 times. But you are also incredibly wise women, and you know that your process might not be the perfect process for everyone. And so there is very much this intuitive I always use my own words, but it's this dance through it all, and it's bringing all of you into it. So I love that. And I want to talk about some elements that I know for each one of you, my experience with you guys that I see, that I think are something that I see special in you guys. And I just want to kind of love on you for a minute in that regard, because it's not everyone that has the same strengths. And so for Jenny, we'll start with her first since she's not here. I have notes that I want to share is that Jenny is somebody who truly believes that we're not meant to do it alone. You know, she believes in team building. She is a collaborator through and through. The first time I ever met Jenny, she was like a team member for somebody else. And when I was in a room with Jenny for these weekly check-ins and these supports, Jenny was this beautiful jack of all trades almost. You know, she showed up with this like energy of calm, cool, collected, and leaning in like, what else is here? Like you talked about Debbie yesterday in your call, you listen, but you're also looking for more. And Jenny has that skill too. And she has this role in branding, but it's more than that. Even branding is a word that has so many things. It's this really personal message, right? Like what makes you, you, what makes you, you, and you. And I think that that's where Jenny can just really help people find their special sauce. And sometimes it's almost too simple. It's almost like, well, yes, of course I do that. And Jenny will see that. She'll see what that is in you. She has that ability to see it and help you pull it out. So I love that about her. And then Karen, what I've noticed about you so far is you have this super, super strong focus on emotional intelligence. I have caught several of your lives on your personal page lately. And if anybody's watching this and you don't go on Karen's personal page, go on there and scroll down. She interviews some of the coolest people with the coolest stories. And it's always this beautiful thread of emotional intelligence and authenticity to who these people are, that she sees it, she hears it, and she highlights it, empowers it. And I believe that this is really a critical piece. It's a critical piece in staying true to how you show up in the marketplace, whether that's for authors or whatever, like you were saying. So really, really excited about that. And then, well, Debbie, I just loved on you so much yesterday. Let's just keep it going. But Debbie has this beautiful catalyst for helping people transform. And she does it through empowering, and she does it through seeing and caring deeply. But really, Debbie is this person that's like, let's take action. Let's do yes, yes, yes. But it's aligned to you. And so I think, I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know this is a lot of my opinion here in an interview already. I just want to say the questions I want to ask you guys are, I want to preface it with saying these strengths that each one of you have coming together on a panel with bringing these very specific, but yet very overlapping strengths. It's no doubt going to be like a home run. I was like trying to use baseball lingo for Debbie, and I don't play baseball or any of that. So I'm like, what is the thing where you hit the bat? That was terrible. But it's no doubt going to be a home run. So did I miss anything? I want you guys to help me speak for Jenny since she's not here. It's really important that we highlight that. But I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah, I think you really did a great job in number one, you really do understand us and you see the bigger picture. So thank you for that. I echo everything you said about Jenny and Karen, of course, and I'll humbly agree with all the things you said about me. Jenny is one of those people that is everywhere all at once. She's omnipresent. She listens like unbelievable. And she observes and honors everybody's conversation, everybody's values. And then she just comes up and nails something, like you said, like just something that was so simple that you had overlooked. I often go to Jenny when I say, am I overcomplicating this? Right? We can get in our own head and we can really overcomplicate it. And she just brings it right back down to simple. She pulls out the thing that I needed to hear, the message that somebody else was trying to get me. Karen does it in a 30-second pitch. Jenny does it in like 3 words. Boom, this is you, Debbie. And it's so powerful.
Right. And that's what's so amazing is to combine our different strengths. And we also have the commonalities, like you were saying, Ashley, we're all very intuitive, and we are just very emotionally intelligent and very empathetic individuals. We really care about the people that are wanting to share their message. And that is something that is different. Debbie talks about the shiny object and the people that have millions and millions of followers, and that's great. But when you want to have some personalized attention, when you want to know that someone really has your best interest at heart, that is us. And you have three of us all together that have our different strengths, but our common strengths as well. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate, the branding, because I remember for a long time, it was very hard for me to figure out, how do I say that? I represent several different things. So I was like struggling with how to figure out how to say it. And so we go from confusion to clarity in so many different levels, so many different aspects of what you're trying to achieve. And that is something that many times we have questions galore. How do I? Where do I? What do I? And we don't know the answers, but here we will answer all of those questions.
And you each bring so much experience to it that you can answer it from the path that you've each been on. I mean, Jenny's worked in corporate and done some incredible launches with her branding. I didn't even know this until recently when I joined a masterclass. Join masterclasses, people. They share a lot of information. Please join masterclasses. This one and anything else that aligns to you, but you really do learn so much about people, and not just the thing that they're teaching you, but about where they came from. And when you find that you're like, oh, wow, they've done all those things that leads to where they are, it really helps you when you're on your path to go, okay, well, I need to do more, and I'm not behind. I still have all these things to do, and not in a sense of burnout, but in a sense of like curiosity, and adventure. And I really think it's beautiful. So with having said that, I also echo what you said, Debbie, about Jenny. When she hears things, she'll hear something and she'll pull it right back out. And you're like, did I really say that? That seems too easy. She's like, those were your words. So good. I'd love to know, you each do truly have an incredible body of work that you've done and that you are currently working on. I know, Karen, you have so many things that you're doing, and Debbie, you have so many things, and Jenny as well. And so what inspired this collaboration and the creation of the leader? So the masterclass, I don't even think I've said, I believe is, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I have Leadership Momentum Blueprint. And so the LMB, what inspired this collaboration between the three of you guys? Because you both have, you all three have plenty going on. Why this? I love it.
Yeah, I'll start, Debbie. And Debbie and I and you, Ashley, we're all speakers, we're all entrepreneurs, we're all leaders. And I have invested in a lot of programs and been disappointed in many of them, and not felt that I got what was promised, or that my needs were really met. I didn't really even feel connected to the person that was presenting. And we talked about that, how we need more connection. We need more as speakers. And when we're trying to get our message out there as entrepreneurs, we need more guidance. I was looking for a mentor that could help me and say, watch out for that, pothole, it's coming up. And I just, there's a curve, a dead man's curve right there. Watch out. And provide that guidance. So we wanted to do that because of what we've been through, because of what we missed. We wanted to share that with other people to help them gain that clarity and that confidence and that visibility sooner, so that they could get their message out there with more ease.
Karen, that was so beautiful. And so I think she's definitely talked about why. And I want to say why now, when we're busy. So number one, it's time. Guys, more than ever, the world needs the leaders, the visionaries, the world changers to show up. You have a message, you have a mission, you have this burning desire within you. You have it all. And all of those fears and those doubts and all that overwhelm has stopped you to now. Or maybe you're really doing it, but there's another level of you. Because this isn't just for the beginner person that says, I have a dream and I have something to share. This is for somebody that's been doing it. Me. I've been doing it for how many years, and I hadn't really grabbed the momentum that I knew was possible. And I wished that I had somebody that I could ask questions to or be mentored by, without all the promises, without all the expenses, without all the things. And so what you spoke about is really why, but why now? It is time. And we could feel the call, and we just said, I think it's us. I think it's us that needs to do this.
Right. And we just were so aligned with our own visions and our own missions. It was so interesting as we got together. We just had so many things in common and our goals. So and the people that we work with are so similar. So we were like, wow, to bring these all together is just a beautiful harmony. It's incredible synergy is what it is.
It is synergy. And I will say that might have been, I don't know if that was the word, but when I first saw one of the three of you put up a graphic, it could have been Jenny, or I don't know who I saw it first, Debbie. Anyways, I saw this graphic and I saw the three of your faces, and I saw the beautiful little gold lines on the side and the white, and it was so clean. And I was like, I swear synergy was somewhere within like the first 4 words that I thought. I was like, well, that's perfect. Like the three of you really do just beam care, and you also, to me, provide confidence, because you all have a process, if not many. And something that you shared, Karen, I want to talk about, because it just seems too funny not to mention it. So this morning I teach tap dance online. I mean, that's one of the things I do, but I teach tap dance online. Now my 13-year-old son, please hear this quick story. My 13-year-old son teaches with me live on Tuesday mornings. He is like my little assistant for my beginner level. He walks away promptly when we start the intermediate level. And he becomes the tech man. He's like, mom, you go too fast. So anyways, this morning I'm answering something on social media, and another fellow tap dancer that's incredible. Hear this part of the story. A phenomenal tap dancer dances circles around me. Like, my gosh, I try to do some of the things he does, because he's like, everybody try this. It's a challenge. And I'm like, I like challenges. And I feel like I'm going to break my ankles. I'm like, well then, all right. So he shared a question. Please hear this. Okay. The question said, how do you do single foot wings? Now, what that is doesn't matter, but it's this step that's fancy. Your feet fly out and you have to keep your balance. His answer, please hear this. And I want this with love. His name is Connor Kelly. If you're a tap dancer or you want to watch tap dancing, go watch this man. He is like so good. It took years off and just decided to pick it back up, and picked up like he's never stopped. He shared how to do it though by doing both feet, which is hard already. Okay, there's a lot of steps before you even do that. And then he was like, you just pick up one foot. That's how you do it on one foot. I died laughing. I was rolling on the couch laughing this morning, because I was like, come on, he's got to be kidding me. There is many ways you could break this down. And I said to my son, I was like, son, he's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, come watch. Now my 13-year-old son, I will tie this all together, I promise. My 13-year-old son watches this video, and he's like, because Karen, you just hit it on the nail, the nail on the head. He said, okay, and how do you do it without spending a year practicing and breaking your ankles? And I said, boom shakalaka. I said, because that's what people want when they look for a teacher. They don't want, well, just try it. They don't want, you just do what I did. That's not how it works. When you're looking for a true guide, and you use the word guidance, Karen, because when you're looking for guidance, you want a guide. You want somebody who's going to hold your hand and be like, I hear you. I see you. This is where you're at. And this is what I would say might be the right path. Now, what do you think? And maybe this one. And it's a team collaboration. It's not just do what I do. That's not a good leader.
Oh, absolutely. That's so true, because that's where the intuitive part comes in. We are unique. You know, I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be understood, and that guidance personalized for me. And so when we give the guidance that we do and the instructions, yes, we have opportunities to ask us questions, not just here's your paper, do the thing, go, bye, you know, and where have you been, and where have been your obstacles, and how can we get past those obstacles? The honest truth, Ashley, is that most of us know far more about what to do than we actually do. And we help bridge that gap from knowing to doing.
Wow. And I would say that all three of you feel that viscerally, what you just said, the last sentence there. You guys all have this understanding of how emotional intelligence is and how we all get in our own way, but you also have a deep belief in other people. You guys
Yeah.
care and you believe in other people. It's not like you're looking at somebody else and like, I don't know if this is meant for you. You know that if they have the calling, it is meant for them, and you support that. And I love it. And so my share about Connor was that I laughed, but in that same note, I've been in situations too where people have been like, well, just do it.
Right.
Okay, at some point I will. Get me there first. I don't want to fall off the cliff, right? Like I don't want to break my ankles. And so you bring so much value and so much experience, and the fears and the doubts, Debbie, that you mentioned with why now, those don't go away. How do you get through them? How do you get past them? Excuse me, you go through them.
Yes.
And when you're supported by women like yourselves, leaders, I shouldn't even say women, it has nothing to do with male or female, it's leadership. And when you're supported by the leadership like the three of you have, and the people that have poured into you guys to keep you where you are, it's this beautiful trickle of why now? Because it's time. Like Debbie said, it's time. I love that.
Well, I'm just going to go a little deeper into the collaboration, because why, like when you are a true collaborator, Karen already said, we speak so much alike. We actually, each one of us could teach this entire course, and we know that. And the gift has been what piece is you, what piece is next, and what piece finishes it. And so us building behind the scenes has also been a true example of what a collaboration looks like, what leveraging your own message looks like. Where do you, as Jenny is, where's your working zone of genius? Where is this piece? And then having that somebody to fall back on, that feels really good too. Let's be honest. If my internet didn't work, I know that one of the other girls could take my piece of that. We all believe the same thing. We actually have the same message. We speak it in a different way. So Ashley, if you came to me and you couldn't hear me, there was just a disconnect, I would pick up on that and I'd say, hey, I think you should just have a conversation with Jenny for a little bit. There's something I'm missing and not hearing that is a fear or a belief, right? That's really what stops us from hearing something, is we're just not quite there yet, so that we can openly hear and receive all of the wisdom and all of the knowledge that's being presented to us. So we're there to help guide you along the way. And in this particular blueprint, it's 90 minutes for three of us. So we know that we're limited by time, but we want you in our world. Let's be honest. We need you to understand and feel our heart and our soul so that we can really, truly help you.
Absolutely. So beautiful.
Yeah. And I love that, because there is power in numbers, right? There's power in prayer. There's power in numbers. And that knowing that you each have each other is huge, but it also allows you to really be in your zone of genius, because you don't have to try to play all the parts and do all the things. You can split up and divide and conquer, if you will. So I'm excited for you guys in that regard, and for everyone like myself on the receiving end of that genius. And of that energy. Now, you kind of just touched on it a little bit, guys, but how is collaboration, or maybe if there's even one specific aha moment for you where collaboration played a role, either in your personal, because leadership is personal as well, or your professional growth, where you were like maybe doing it alone and you were at it alone and you were, hustling, if you will, or just chiseling through, and even, slow and steady, whatever it was, but you were like this moment where when collaboration came, that light bulb went off.
Yeah, I can speak about that, because I have done it for a long time on my own. I've tried to do it. And then when I got a partner and we worked on things together, what was so different, it was like the difference between self-help and trying to work on my own, traumas and things, versus working with a coach. When you speak it out loud and you say it to the coach and your brain hears you say it and you're the observer and they reflect back, like you said, Ashley, and they say the words back to you and you're like, oh, you hear it and you see it and you feel it differently. And so collaboration has been very powerful for me in being able to move myself forward, to be able to overcome those limiting beliefs that I didn't even recognize sometimes. But it's like being inside the bottle. You can't read the label inside the bottle. So you have to get outside. And with collaboration, I get outside of my way, and it builds this incredible, like I said, synergy where the whole is greater than the parts.
Right. That's beautiful. What about you,
Yeah,
Debbie?
and I think it's very similar. as somebody that kind of felt like I had to do it alone, the weight was on my shoulders. Even I have to figure it out because look at all these people depending on me. What I started to recognize in masterminds. So I first became a circle leader, which a circle is a group of people that really share openly and whatever. And then I became a mastermind facilitator. And what I recognized in there, as soon as you got two minds together, you didn't have a third mind, you had like 13 minds, and you had this amazing thing that started to happen. And so I started leveraging that. And I did it through true collaborations, not somebody that wants to come in and says, hey, I know the way, you just got to learn from me, but where we hear each other, where we listen, and where there is a synergy and there's growth happening in within an hour. Like in 30 minutes, you can have these aha moments and these things happening. And so that's what a true collaboration means to me. And there's growth in collaboration because us as women, especially if you've been on the where you had to be the leader, there was a little bit of like people pleasing or ego. I have to figure it out. I have to lead the way. The next level of leadership is collaboration, because now you look at your own strengths and you look at the things you were doing only because you thought they had to be done, not because they lit you up. And now we get to rely on each other, and this long-term relationship and all of these aha moments start to just spin. And pretty soon you're creating this magic with other women or even men that just wasn't even in your awareness before. And that's really what I believe a collaboration is all about.
Oh, sorry, Karen, please go.
I was just going to say, this thought just crossed my mind about collaboration that you made me think about, is that I don't know how many of you have read The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, but he talks about any time that you are elevating yourself and trying to share your message, or trying to write the book, or trying to get out there to say the speech or build your business, whatever it is that you're trying to do, as you up level yourself, you meet resistance. And even if you worked on those limiting beliefs and on that trauma that is there for all of us, it rears its ugly head again. And you have to deal with it, because every time you up level, the limiting beliefs come back in another form on a deeper level. And this has been fascinating, because so many people get to a certain point and they're like plateaued, and they're like, I don't understand. Well, it's because of those factors. And that's what we address in our course. And so I just wanted to talk about that, because if anybody's read that book or dealt with that as an entrepreneur, speaker, coach, you find no matter how experienced the coaches and the speakers are, I've heard speakers that are so famous and they say the same thing happens to them every time they get on stage, but they've learned tools that help them to deal with it quicker and more effectively, so that they can move through it and get on that stage.
Yeah, because when they deal with it again, they're not the same person that dealt with it the first time, right?
Right.
Involved with more tools in their toolbox. Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of the what you resist persists, right? You have to do the work. You don't have a choice.
Yes.
Why now? Because you don't have a choice. It's coming back regardless. I love that. Two things came to mind. One, Karen, when you were speaking and you were talking about how, when you are in collaboration and you're speaking with a coach and you're really saying these things out loud, you really can almost see the label, right? You can see it better. I was thinking about the beautiful picture behind you. Like if you were hiking through the woods and you were lost, you would call somebody for help, and there would be a helicopter that would fly in, and they would see the big picture, and then they would pick you up and they would save you, right? And bring you to where you want to be. And it's this visual of, we all get stuck, and
Yes.
stuck looks different. Sometimes stuck is really not so stuck, but we make it this mountain of like problems because human nature and old habits. But then really stuck is like, I don't see it. I don't see it. You need guidance. So I love that. And then Debbie, when you were speaking, for one, I was like, that's kind of like leadership math. You did some leadership math, because you were like 1 mind plus 1 mind equals 13 minds. I was like, oh, that's what I mean. You need to make like a leadership image of like a brain and then like a collaboration.
Yeah.
all within an hour. I loved that. You made me laugh. I even drew a little picture on my paper here. But then you said the ego and the people pleasing. And I think that that's worth speaking to again, because again, in entrepreneurship, you have to have some tough skin a little bit, right? And you also have to have this wild imagination. And so the tough skin feels like this armor, and it feels like it can be heavy, right? And this wild imagination feels free and like almost unrealistic. And when you can put the two together, then you become this version of you, of this authentic, unique you-ness. And when you said, in order to raise up in your leadership and rise up in your leadership, you have to let go of ego and people pleasing. It reminded me of like this visual of like a little girl or a boy holding a balloon, and it's like they're dreaming of this big business, this big stage, this big title, whatever the vision is for everybody. You're dreaming of more, and it's, let's just get real and say impact, because that's what I believe we're all here for, is try to make an impact. And we see the vision of the impact, but we have these balloons, and it's like, instead of the balloons being light and like filled with helium, for some reason they're heavy and we're still holding on to them, and it's the ego and it's the people pleasing. And it's like, just let them go and run. And that's where you get to the leadership. That's kind of the visual that came to mind when you said that, Debbie. And I really thought it was beautiful and playful. So thank you both for your shares. Getting rescued from the woods behind you, and then I don't know where those came from, but maybe they resonated. If anybody else while we're live has visuals like I'm getting, just let me know, because these ladies are playful. What do you have, Debbie? Do you have a visual?
Oh, I mean, I get visuals all the time. And so I absolutely love when somebody else has them too, because that it actually allows me to, it's like a mastermind. It allows me to go deeper. Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't connect those dots. We talked earlier about, you know, Jenny's the puzzle piece. I believe that I'm the person that connects the dots. Like somebody is like, oh, that happened 4 years ago and that happened yesterday. How did Debbie bring those two things together? I see things in dots. I see things in bright lights, and I visualize it. So when you share, it takes me deeper into the conversation. And then of course, Jenny's like, when you give the visual, I'm like, oh, Jenny's making a leadership map. I can tell you that she's going to make you a branded leadership map for you. And
of
then
course she is.
just,
of course she is.
And then Karen, I think that what happens there, I'm sorry, I'm speaking over top of you, but I see Karen, her wheels are turning too. And she's going, oh, what person can I connect you with? How can I get you on a stage to talk about that thing? Something you didn't even know, but she picked up on the passion in it. And she's like, I know somebody you need to talk to.
Yes. And Debbie, you know, you mentioned several things that are so true, that are so important for our people who are interested in this to know, is that we all have these fears that hold us back. Our brain is designed to keep us safe. And what does that mean? That means staying in the cave, staying quiet, staying small. That's where the people pleasing comes in, because people pleasing, you might say, well, what does people pleasing have to do with speaking? Because the people pleaser in us says, are they going to like what I say? Are they going to like me if I say that, if I get on the stage? What if they don't like me after I speak? What if they don't like what I have to say? That's where the people pleasing comes in. And that is our brain's way of keeping us safe, so that we don't get isolated and separated from the tribe. But what we want to do is we want you to overcome that, so that you can be empowered, so that you can share your genius on the stage and have that visibility. Because one of the things that people don't know is that's healing. That helps heal your trauma. That helps heal your wounds. It builds your confidence, and it liberates you. You feel so much more freedom when you share your message, and when you take those steps. It's like taking baby steps, you know, sticking your toe in the ocean. But when you do, we're right there for you. We're your safety net. I have been scared to death, but I have had safety nets, you know, and my mom used to say to me, be like the little engine that could. And I would think, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Well, I think you all can too. And so does Debbie, and so does Jenny, and so does Ashley. And I just wanted to add that to our thoughts.
That is the power of collaboration right there. That like knowing that even when you don't believe in you, or even when you are doubting you, that you have a support system of people going, you got this. I see it in you. It's okay. You don't see it yet, but I do. Keep going. Trust, believe, because we can all talk ourselves out of anything at any point, at any day. Let's be serious. We can do it. We can all talk ourselves. I mean, I can talk myself out of what tea I'm going to drink, even though I'm decided I'm drinking chamomile tea. And it's like, ooh, I don't know. You know, we have so many decisions. And when you decide who's going to be in your corner, I think of like a boxer. When I decide who's going to be my manager, who's going to be in my corner, you can rest safe in that. And a lot of anxiety can go away and a lot of fear can go away, because you know you're in the hands of people who genuinely care, who have been here and done it, who see something in you that you believe is there, even if it's only this big, or else you wouldn't be pursuing it. So you've had the call, or maybe you believe it a lot and you just haven't figured it out, but it's really, really powerful. One more question I have, if that's okay, is, let me see, I want to make sure I have a couple, so let me pick the best one here. Okay. So you guys have, no, let's do two more. Do we have time to do two more? Can we do two more? Okay. All right. So, Karen, your background in coaching is a deep understanding of personal healing. You've already mentioned this a few times, and I've been reading, you know, your website and your podcast and the way you speak again with your lives. So it's deeply about healing and transformation. And how does emotional intelligence and self-awareness tie into business success? You kind of just hinted on it, but I think you could go deeper, and I think you could too, Debbie. But emotional intelligence and self-awareness tying into your business success.
Right. Well, as I mentioned, you know, those limiting beliefs are there. And if we aren't aware, sometimes it's like a program that's just operating in the background that we don't even know is draining our juice. And unfortunately, there can be malware that is like, I'm doing the thing. I don't understand why it's not working. Well, there's something that is blocking, and emotional intelligence is so vital, because when we have that self-awareness, then we are better able to regulate our nervous system. When our nervous system gets escalated, first of all, we can't remember anything, because all of our resources go to the amygdala, and we can't access our prefrontal cortex to make those decisions. That is very common with any entrepreneur, speaker, or coach that is trying to accomplish something. Those fears get in the way. And so when you have emotional intelligence, you learn skills about how to regulate your own emotional state, so that you can come back to being calm, to being present, to being mindful, so that you can have that clarity, so that you can tap into the hero that is within you and see it for yourself. And then you can expand that to share that outward. And emotional intelligence involves being aware of others, being able to help others with their nervous system as well. Because when Debbie is a calming influence on me and she's calm, I'm more calm. This extends out, and this is what the community provides. As Debbie's empowered, I'm more empowered. It's this synergy that is so beautiful. And then also being motivated is another massive factor in emotional intelligence. And so truth seekers, I love to talk to truth seekers. You are both such truth seekers, and people who want to be better, who just crave more information about how to move forward. And that's what we're all about. That's where the emotional intelligence comes into play. Thank you.
Oh man, if you haven't signed up, yeah, mic drop, like sign up. That was, and I really think that what you guys are sharing is beyond the entrepreneur world. It really is in every world. I mean, if you're a parent, you're a leader, and you need to be up-leveling your emotional intelligence, right? You also need to be up-leveling your branding. What does your family stand for? What are your core values? What are your do's and don'ts, right? How do you connect? How do you build lasting relationships that are going to transcend when they move out of the house? Things like this. This is how I see this stuff. And then Debbie, collaboration. That is what a family is. You know, it's like, you guys are marketing to entrepreneurs, but the mom in me, the homeschool mom in me, is like, I want to invite all of my homeschool friends, because everybody needs these skills. And so I can't say enough about the blueprint. I mean, come on, it's a perfect mix of what will serve you to be a well-rounded human and show up confidently. And we all want confidence. So we have three core elements for this thing. We have vision, we have voice, and we have visibility. So Debbie, you're the visibility of sorts, you know, showing up and kind of doing the things. That's how I see it. Vision, I feel like, is Jenny. She's got the branding, she's got the maps and the things and the visuals. And then I feel like the voice is, for me, it's Karen, you know, the speaking and all of that. So that's how I'm seeing it. But very much these are dances between all of the words and all three of you. So with all these things, I just want to say vision, voice, and visibility. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I think that you have to have them all. Right? You have to have vision, you have to have a voice, whatever your voice is and whatever you're standing on, and you have to have what did I say? Vision, visibility. You have to have visibility. You can talk all day long to the mirror in your bathroom, but who's seeing you? And
Right.
right. And you two ladies, I know for a fact, have already made an impact on me of like helping me to be more seen and helping me to find my voice and my vision and my visibility. And so I just want to say thank you to the both of you. And of course to Jenny as well, because Jenny was a big part of my life all last year. I'm very grateful for Jenny. And yeah, so what I want to say is for anybody listening, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling overwhelmed, unsure, what's your next step? As Karen already said, clarity. Clarity comes from, you know, getting yourself into spaces that have the map. And is there anything else that you two would say to encourage or invite anybody that's still like, I don't know, is this really for me? Or I've signed up even, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to join live. It's like, don't just go half in, go all in, join, sign up and show up. But what would you guys say? Because you're the heart behind all of this.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we know that marketing is, you know, it's magnetic, and we needed to be magnetic for the people that we want in the room. But we also want you fully there, right? So you just nailed it. Don't just sign up, show up. So we're actually making it easy for you. This 90 minutes is on us. It is free. But it ain't going to stay free for long, guys, because we have to value and honor ourselves. So if you sign up, you get the replay. The replay will be there for a limited amount of time because we need you to take action and watch it. Those replays will go down and this will become a course, a blueprint. So we want our voices to be honored, to be heard, to create a ripple effect. But we also want you to choose you. And you can only do that when we make an offer and then you truly show up and you play full out and you do the homework, you do the things, and then we can help you with the rest. And you know that. Most of you guys are coaches. You are asking your students to show up and to play full out. We're just doing that give and receive thing that we talked about yesterday. Please let us help you.
Help us help you. Yes, that's what we are saying. The bottom line is help us help you. And when Ashley, when you said what, or I can't remember, Ashley and Debbie, you both said why now? I want to say, why not? Why not? And why me? Why not you? A lot of people think, well, there's so many coaches that are talking about emotional intelligence. What do I have to say that's different? I don't know. You are different. Your story, your lived experiences are different. Your perspective and the way you learned it and your message and your personality will resonate with your people. They're different than my people, but that's why you need to get on stage. That's why you need to share your message. And I need to share mine too. But there's billions of people out there. There's plenty, there's room. So join us and learn all you can because we're so excited to share what we've learned with you.
And can I just add why you, as in why you ladies, from my perspective. So you said why you as in like us signing up. But I will say why you, because when you feel connected to somebody, you get more out of it. You let down your guard, you ask more vulnerable questions, you share your ideas differently because you're not afraid of rejection or worried that it's a silly idea. And so if you're watching this, or if you have been in these ladies' worlds with Karen or Debbie or Jenny, and if you're in their world, you're already connected to them, that is why them, because they already maybe know you. And if they don't, they want to know you, but also you know who and what they are about. And so you will know what you will be able to release and explore and what possibilities and opportunities can come more of than if you're in a room with somebody who, let's just say you're, even if it's 2 months from now, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, my branding is off. And now all of a sudden you're searching, trying to find somebody that you don't have a connection to, or you see a random ad, and to each their own, do it your way. But I'm just saying from personal experience, there is something very different about working with someone who gets you and who you get. So for sure, yeah.
I just want to add to that because you hit the nail on the head right there. When I feel emotionally safe with the person that is coaching me or mentoring me, all the difference in the world. And that's a huge part of emotional intelligence, is being able to feel emotionally safe. And that is something that Debbie and Jenny and you are excellent at creating. And so if anybody has that fear but wants to be taken care of and safe so that you can explode and share your vision and share your message with the world, we are your people.
Ah, yes, yes, and yes. It's like a happy dance celebration at the end there is needed. And Debbie, I don't know, are you going to put it in the chat? I had it open, but it started making noises. Can you put it in the chat so people can sign up and make sure that we make this as easy as possible so everybody knows?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to put it in the chat, and we're available if you want to talk to us, right? Like, every one of us is here, and we're real people, and we want to make real connections. So trust that we want you in the room, and trust that this is an open conversation so that we can serve you the best way that we can.
I feel compelled to say one more thing. You just said we want to talk to you. I know that personally I feel this way, and I don't want to say this, speak for anybody else. I don't want to speak for Jenny not being here. But one of the things that I have done that's been a little different personally in my journey, because I started my online entrepreneurial, if you will, business 3 years ago. I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid. I've done many entrepreneurial things, but starting this path. And one thing that I know I was doing that not many people were doing in my, if you will, alumni class of Mastermind, is I was reaching out directly to coaches before and after classes and things like that, and asking questions that I had no expectation they would ever answer. Because in my mind, I was like, well, they're up here and I'm a little pea down here and they don't have time for me, but I want to ask anyways. And it's staying curious. And when these people would respond to me, not only was I like, a little bit like fangirl at first, because I was like, oh my gosh, I just got to, there was that for sure. My kids were like, Mom, you talked to so-and-so. I'm like, I did. But there was this bridge that was like all of a sudden not made out of like twigs and ropes anymore. It was like cement. And it was like, I can get to them if I need to. And I know that they are offering me that bridge. And you, all three of you, do that. And so I want to say, reach out to them if you haven't yet. Build the connections, because you guys, you're not meant to do life alone, period. People feel very lonely when they're alone. It's a natural instinct. Reach out to people who are pursuing things that you've already done or that you would like to do, and people that have the same vibe, the same energy as you, the same caring heart towards the things that matter. Reach out to those people. And these ladies absolutely are that for me. And I am very grateful that I get to talk to you guys and love on you in this way. But I want to encourage other people to do that too, because you guys are truly like this big heart that's like, come to me, come, let me help you, let me hear and let me serve. And they do that. So yeah.
Actually, can I add one thing onto what you're saying?
Yes.
It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we want to help you go far together.
Perfect. Yes. Well, I mean, how far do you want to go? How far do you want to go? Let's go.
That's really good question, because together we have no idea how far we can go. We really are only using a small piece of what's possible here. And that's the other thing about hanging around people that believe in the possible. Right. We're just here leveling up and continuing to level. And then together we're just proving it possible.
Yes. Ashley, this has been such a joy to be with you and Debbie. Thank you so much for the honor to be a guest with you today.
Likewise, I was just about to say that. Thank you both for sharing this time with me and sharing your mission, because it's really important that people hear why and who you are so that they can find their people. And I just want to say thank you to both of you for the impact that you've had on me already, and for the opportunities that you guys are bringing to all of us with this blueprint. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.